Days 62 to 63, Yosemite National Park. So, as much as I enjoyed my time in San Jose, but the road calls. So, you start out going into the foothills of the Sierra Nevadas, and less than 3 hours later, you are almost at the entrance to Yosemite National Park, and you actually start seeing little peaks of it. And then you drive higher into the mountains and you get into a tunnel, and when you come out of it, you hit something called the tunnel view and the Yosemite Valley. And the valley is gorgeous. It's framed by these huge tall cliffs, including the famous El Capitan, that is a mecca for rock climbers from all over the world. And of course, the mandatory selfie with a national park sign. Again, the view of the valley is just awesome from the bottom, and later on from the top, it's even more awesome. And it has a little marker on the spot where Teddy Roosevelt and John Muir sat by the fire and discussed the future of preservation and national parks and national forests. The valley has been populated for quite some time, well before it was a national park, and it has its own post office and even its own cemetery. And what created the valley is the Merced River that flows smack in the middle of it. Now, I was there in the fall after a year which had a big drought, so it looks very shallow and very peaceful. But then you come across this sign and you see how high the water can actually get during snow melt. And I could only imagine what a difference it is from what I was seeing now to what it can be. And I was there at sunset, so you catch the glimpses of the sunlit cliffs reflecting in the river. And I was so happy I was able to catch it in my picture because it's just unbelievable. And then my second day in Yosemite started early in the morning, driving up to the cliffs above the park. So the road climbs higher and higher, and then you get to an elevation of almost 10,000 feet, and you hit something called the Glacier Point. And the view is just jaw-dropping. And I have to admit, the day before, when I was driving up to Yosemite, and I started seeing little glimpses of it, I was like, nah, after Utah, I don't understand what people are talking about. But then you hit the tunnel view and the view coming out of it, and I'm like, okay, now I get it. So in Glacier Point, when you see the view of the valley below and the cliffs high up on top, including the famous half dome, and the view and the air and the echoes from the cliffs all around, it is just something that can't really be described. Driving down from the mountains, I actually came across this bear cub crossing the road. And by the time I grabbed my phone and started taking pictures, all I could catch was his very cute butt disappearing into the woods. But yeah, that was an interesting experience. And then you see the view going down, and it's all hazy from the smoke from the wildfires. So because it was dry and all the waterfalls were dry, so you didn't really pay to go hiking there. And the Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Parks were closed because of the wildfires. I just decided to beeline it to LA and spend some time there with my brother and his family. So that was my experience in Yosemite. That was thoroughly enjoyable, not enough. And I just have to find a different time of year to visit it when you can also enjoy the river and the waterfalls. So again, I'm gonna stop talking and let Yosemite do the rest.